Oh, I knew this was gonna happen. I knew that the new Avatar movie would do nothing mind-blowing and just stay in its comfort zone. To be honest with you guys, I am absolutely disappointed by it. Now, why is that, would you ask? Well, in this video, I will explain to you guys why I believe Avatar Fire and Ash is a deception. Now, enough yapping said, let's start this video. And don't forget that this video is entirely subjective and that you have the right to have your own opinion. So, I found Avatar Fire and Ash to be an okay movie. It's not good, but it's not bad either. I was pretty entertained during my watch time of it, not gonna lie. But it does have many problems that ended up affecting my opinion of it. Now, the movie visually looks awesome. I can't deny it. But apart from being a beautiful spectacle, I think the movie itself is empty. This movie didn't end up affecting me. I came out of the theater with a neutral face. This movie, in general, is a copy-paste of the second one, and it even has the same flaws as the second movie, in my opinion. I think that they didn't try to create an ambitious story. Instead, I think that they stayed in their comfort zone and decided to create a story that would not impact the franchise too much, and that would just expand its lore. What I liked from the movie is that it shares a story about a new Na'vi clan with a different mentality. I think the Menquan clan is the most interesting part of the movie because we, as viewers, got to discover their way of thinking and their way of living. Now, apart from that, the movie reuses many things from the previous movies and they just recycled the story of the second one by changing a couple of details here and there. They even reuse most plot lines from the previous movie and develop them just a bit, like Kiri being connected to Iowa, Loak disappointing his dad, and Quaritch getting revenge on Jake. They added a couple of new plot lines, like Spider becoming a Na'vi. But honestly, even with these new plot lines, this movie is still a weaker version of The Way of Water. They use the same story patterns with everyone getting captured and rescued all the time, which makes this movie too repetitive. By watching these repetitive scenes over and over again, you become bored of this movie pretty fast, and it just becomes annoying because these moments don't even bring an evolution to the story. They are just there to add tension. Sometimes these moments just feel like filler moments, and I think this movie overall would have worked better if it was shorter. They take so much time to establish something, and it becomes boring after a while. Now, the action sequences are pretty entertaining, but again, they are recycled from the previous movies, so it becomes repetitive pretty fast. The final battle is literally the same from the previous movie, whether it's because of its duration or because of the goals of the characters. Overall, I think this movie had a hard time trying to make something new and original, and just decided to rewrite the story of The Way of Water, but this time with the Ash people included. Now, there are some elements that I do believe had the potential to be interesting if used correctly, but the problem is that they weren't used to their full potential. There are concepts, like Quaritch becoming a Menquan, that I think had potential to be interesting, but for some reason, they don't show them that much and just make the story move forward without exploring them. I feel like it's a problem that was also there in The Way of Water. They introduced concepts and plot lines, but only used them a bit and didn't give them some kind of closure. They are stretching this franchise too much, and it's got to a point where it's just annoying. But what legitimately made me angry was the end of the movie, for two specific reasons. One, Quaritch is still getting away with his bullshit, and to me, it's just a lazy way to end his story for this movie. His story should have ended at the end of the second movie. Heck, even at the end of the first one. But there he is, still getting away with his crimes, and not having some kind of impactful character growth or closure for his story. The second thing that made me angry was how they ended Varung's journey. Like, let's be honest, do you remember the last scene she was in? Because personally, I can't. She had such a nice build-up for her story arc, but because of the way it ended, it made it forgettable. Also, I really do appreciate appreciate what they did with her relationship with Quaritch. I think it worked. Their bond made sense, even if it could have been explored more, talking about the relationships between the characters. I think this movie has a problem with that. Most of the relationships between the characters felt underdeveloped and weird. Kiri and Spiders' relationship made sense, seeing how close both of them were since the Way of Water. But apart from them, the rest of the relationships between characters felt underused or forced. Jake and Neytiri, Loak and Siraya, I think they should have been more developed. Anyways, I think these relationships didn't have some kind of great evolution and were just there to be acknowledged. Now, even with all these problems from the writing department, I think the movie is easily watchable and you can have a great time discovering it. Visually, it looks beautiful, whether it's the CGI, the colors, or the framing, and I find the music incredible too. The action sequences, even if they are long, recycled, and repetitive, can be fun to watch, and they are probably the most memorable parts of the movie for me. The story is simple, not very developed, but I think you can still have a great time with it. My main problem with it is that it's not original and is reused from the second movie. Overall, this movie didn't take risks and was just written in a way that would make it an okay movie. I will give this movie a rating of 6 out of 10. What did you guys think of Avatar: Fire and Ash? Tell me your opinion in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to this channel. It really helps small creators like me. Leave a like or a dislike if you want, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. See ya!